Hi friends, it is Johnny back with another video, and today it is time for some randomness. Zoo Pals! Zoo Pals are back. So I recently saw online that Zoo Pals are coming back. I mean, cool. That is a piece of my childhood that I've never really let go of. Like, every time I hear somebody say like an animal sound, I'm like, Zoo Pals! Like, I even used a clip of the old commercial in one of my older videos. I don't remember which one it was. It was probably like a year or two ago at this point. So, needless to say, I knew Zoo Pals. I know Zoo Pals. And so I figured, right, hear me out, tier lists. I enjoy a good tier list. I love when a YouTuber makes a stupid tier list or something like that, and I'm like, that's questionable, but you know what? That's your opinion, and that's fine, okay? Whereas I would have probably put that at an S, and you're putting it at a D. We got beef, but you know what? It's your opinion. So, I decided, with Zoo Pals coming back, why not do a Zoo Pals tier list? So, let's get into it. As you can see here, I kind of situated a tier list here myself, where top is peak, obviously. Then we have silly little fellas. A furry's wet dream, because, you know, furries. You had potential, but they dropped the ball. Why are you looking at me like that? Because some of them give you a weird look. I can't tell you how many times I was eating off of a Zoo Pals plate when I was younger, and I eat something, and all of a sudden I clear up the face, and it's giving me either a very, like, I'm going to murder you look, or a very seductive look for some reason. I don't know what that was about, but that's why that's there. And then, of course, lastly, whose sin is this? Because, you know, some of them aren't good. Now, I didn't collect all these Zoo Pal plates, but I did situate the tier list the way I wanted it. So I'm not going to sit there and lie to you and be like, I collected all these pictures. No, I was going to, and I went on the tier list website, and I was like, let me see if someone's done it before, and apparently someone had, but they just had the regular, like, A, B, C, D, but I was like, I want my tier list to be a little more fun than that. So here we are. Let's just get into it. First up, we have the black sheep of the family. I wanna say, he's definitely not peak, okay? But he's not a whose sin is this? And he's also not looking at me any type of way. I'm gonna say he had potential, but they dropped the ball on him. You know what? Now the whale. I loved getting the whale. So I'm gonna say the whale. Look at that dumb little face of his. You're like, hey guys, what are we doing over here in a tier list? Yay! Now I would say either peak or silly little fella. That is difficult. I'm gonna put him in peak for now and see if I change my mind later on, depending on like what's in here, okay? Next up we have a black duck. Now, I also really enjoy getting the ducks. I'm not going to say that they're peak, but I will say that he is a silly little fella. I mean, look at him with his bomb-shaped body, and not quite a bill, but not quite a snoot. So yeah, I'll stick with silly little fella for now. Now, we got the puppy. I'm going to say with a puppy, I don't know. The puppy, I'm going to put it in a furry's wet dream, just because, you know, I see a lot of dog furries online. Now, the buffalo. The buffalo, I feel like is a silly little fella. He is so cute. I wouldn't say he's peak, because if he was peak, they would have had, like, maybe turn him around and the horn's gone. I don't know. I don't know what would have made him peak, but he's not peak for me. Now we have a cow, and I would say the cow, I don't know. He's definitely not peak. He might be silly little fella. He might be a furry's wet dream. For now, since I have two in silly little fella already, I'm going to put him in furry's wet dream, because, you know, the others. The bull, 100% furry's wet dream. I don't think I have to explain that. I don't think I have to explain that at all. My friend has sent me some furry artwork, and I know for a fact that a lot of the time the bull is very muscular. The bull is very muscular, and people like that. So yeah, I'm gonna say a furry's wet dream. Now we have a dinosaur. I love his face. He's going into silly little fellas because he's not peak, because they couldn't even be bothered to put like it the shape of the head. No, it's just like it's inside, it's drawn in there and everything. I don't like that. So he's not peak. He's a silly little fella because I love his dumb little face though. And he looks at you with so much hope. Like, will you please eat your vegetables for me? And I'm gonna say no. I am a carnivore, sir. Cardinal? You know, so far I haven't gotten any, whose sin is this? Or why are you looking at it like this? I wouldn't say he's either of those. I would say they dropped the ball. Now, is this a leopard or a cheetah? Either way, a furry's wet dream. If it was a snow leopard, even more so. Next up, we have a beaver. And the beaver, honestly, I don't know. He might be a silly little fella. So I'll say silly little fella. It's fine. We're fine. Cat. I'll say a furry's wet dream because it's a cat. You know what? No, I'm going to say you had potential only because the ears. I don't like that the ears are just like kind of in there and there's like empty space in it. Like maybe if they made the ear part pointier in that one, then I'll be like, okay, yeah. But no. So, aha! Finally, we got one of the bottom two. This is a tough call. Would it be either, why are you looking at me like that? Or, whose sin is this? Because he looks so deranged, I'm gonna put him in whose sin is this? This looks like a doe. I'm gonna put her in Furry's Wet Dream solely because, you know, B-stars. A Dalmatian. Feel like it had potential. It's cute, but it's not like as cute as it could have been. So, you know what? I'm gonna put the beaver down here too because it could have been cuter. The penguin. The penguin is a silly little fella. I didn't even need to like debate that one. That's just like in my heart. I'm like, he's a good newt. That's it. Eagle or bald eagle. I don't know which one it would be. Either way, I don't like it. I'm gonna put it in, why are you looking at me like that? Because it's like giving me that, like, hey, you know what I want, I'm just like, can you calm the hell down, sir? No, not here, not today. Also kind of looks like it's trying to sell me something. It's like, opens up his wings, like, you see anything you like? I'm like, can you close them, please? Because, no, you're trying to sell me patriotism right now, and America ain't it right now, girl. Next up, we have an alligator, right? Alligators have the more rounded nose. Crocodiles are more pointed, so I'm gonna say alligator. Alligator. I definitely wouldn't say peak. I definitely wouldn't say silly little fella. Just because, like, the double chin that's going on in the round part of the plate, like, there's so much that they could have done there, or they could have, like, done it better. I don't know. I'm gonna say you had potential. Flamingo. My sister's favorite animal. Now, flamingo, for me, I'm not gonna say it's peak. I'm not gonna say it's a silly little fella because, frankly, I don't like how they did it. It's not a furry's wet dream because I've never heard my friend mention anything about a flamingo. I have spoken to my friend and they'll tell me things like, oh yeah, I follow this, and they'll enter like some animal or some, I don't know, mythical being because I think they follow a griffin? Anyway, you know, they'll tell me either an animal or a mythical animal or something like that they follow. I've never once heard them mention anything about a flamingo, so it's not a furry's wet dream. I won't say it had potential because the long neck makes it more difficult. Do I want to start a fight with my sister? I feel like the second I put this in whose sin is this, I'm either gonna get a call or she's gonna burst through my door like the Kool-Aid Man. FBI, open up! Next up we have, I don't know what this is. It's clearly some kind of lizard or snake. I'm gonna put it in whose sin is this because, no, I'm gonna put it in why are you looking at me like that because the way it's looking at me, its eyes like half lidded, and it's like, hey, like sticking its tongue out at me. Calm yourself, sir, you're going in, why are you looking at me like this? Next up we have a dolphin. I used to love dolphins when I was younger, then I realized a lot about dolphins, but I'm like, you know what, they're not good. They SA people, they have, you know, unalived people. This part's sad, they do commit self-unaliving if they stay in captivity for too long. So that's just sad for them. But the other stuff's a little more problematic in my opinion because, you know? So I'm gonna put, ooh, but it's giving me a weird look. But you know, it's not cute, so I'm just gonna put it in whose sin is this. Next up, we have a pelican. Okay. So let's see, pelican, I like his dumb face. He's not peak. I mean, I'll put him in silly little fella for now. If I think about it a little longer, I might place him somewhere else. But for now, I'm gonna put him in silly little fella because I don't think he's a furry's wet dream, and I don't necessarily think they dropped the ball. Maybe a little bit. So if it's not silly little fella, it would be they dropped the ball. And I'll have to think about that one. The frog, peak.
She's an icon. She's a legend, and she is the moment.
The frog is peak. If it wasn't peak, it would be like, why are you looking at me like that? Because he's like, hey girl. But the frog is iconic. The frog was on marketing for it. The frog was in the commercials. You can't think of Zoop House and not think about the frog, you know? Next up we have a horse. Of course. I'm going to go with... It's not Peek. I mean, he's kind of cute. I'm not going to put him in Silly Little Fella, though. So he's not... Whose Sin Is This? He's not giving me a weird look, so I'm not putting him in a Why Are You Looking At Me Like That. I don't necessarily think they dropped the ball. I'm going to put the horse in Furry's Wet Dream. Because if I remember correctly, my friend has talked about a horse. And they too were muscular like the bull. Any furries out there, I'm not disrespecting you. I find it interesting. I'm not a furry myself. I respect you. I support you. I hear those suits are expensive as all hell. And I know the going joke of like all furries are in IT. And my friend has proven that to me multiple times. So good for y'all making that money, I guess. A gorilla. It's not Peek, okay? Not a Silly Little Fella either. I'm putting him in Furry's Wet Dream, just because. It just feels like something they would like. And I think my friend has mentioned a gorilla. I could be wrong, though. I could be wrong. Or it could have been the gorilla from the movie Sing they were talking about. Either way, they mentioned a gorilla, so Furry's Wet Dream. A fish! Oh, he's not Peek, but he's a Silly Little Fella, definitely. A green fish! I don't know if I like this one as much, not to be mean. I'm gonna put him in Silly Little Fella 2 for now and just see, like, I'll think. Okay, we have another one of these guys. You're going with your friend, and why are you looking at me like that? Because I still don't know what you are. Are you a Komodo dragon? Are you supposed to be a snake? If you're supposed to be a snake, snakes don't have those nostrils. I don't know what you are. All I know is you are giving me a weird look, and I don't trust it. Another whale, he's Peek. What can I say? I love the whales. I always found them to be really cute. Now we have a hippo. And just because his two dumb teeth remind me of Goofy, I'm putting him in Silly Little Fella. I approve of that. I like that shit. I approve of that. Like, I'm going based off of somebody else's thing. Like, there's no one here to be like, no, put it here. I approve of that. Good job, Johnny. The thing that you did yourself. Now, let's see. I want to say, I don't know what kind of dog that is. It kind of looks like a mixed breed of like a husky and a Shiba. I don't know. But I do like puppies, and my puppy he wasn't a puppy, he was old, but I want to put it in Peek because puppy. But I also have dogs down here too. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm going to put him in Silly Little Fella for now. I don't like the ears because, again, you know, the ears, they could have done something better with it. Or even just like had it like, made it look like the ears folded so it would have fit that shape better. New Zoo Pals, hit me up for ideas. Now we have a parrot. This is another one that's either Whose Sin Is This or Why Are You Looking At Me Like This? Okay, I'm gonna put him in Whose Sin Is This because one, it's not cute, and two, I don't think it would be in Why Are You Looking At Me Like This because that stare isn't looking at me. It looks like it is looking at everything in the galaxy at once. It looks like it has seen the meaning of life, and now it's having an existential crisis. If you know what I mean. Next up we have a kangaroo with a little Joey. That's cute. I feel like they could have done better with the shape. So I'm gonna put it in They Dropped the Ball. It's cute. They could have done better though. It's a cow. Didn't we do a cow already? Wasn't that earlier on? Okay, yeah, we have a brown cow. Black cow. I'm putting in Silly Little Fella simply because of the mouth. Because the mouth it's mooing at me right now. You can see the little lip right there, like, murr. Whereas this one is just like, like it's staring at the furry that's like walking towards it. This one's just happy to be there, like, moo. I don't like the curl. Feel like they dropped the ball or a Furry's Wet Dream. I'm gonna put it in Furry's Wet Dream because it gives me like human style hair with that Superman curl going on right there. So I'm gonna put it in Furry's Wet Dream. Next up we have a koala. I don't know. Do we want to put it in? It's not Peek. It's definitely not Peek. Do we want to put it in Silly Little Fella? Not Furry's Wet Dream. It's either Silly Little Fella or Why Are You Looking At Me Like That? I love the juxtaposition of like, it's a Silly Little Fella or Why Are You Looking At Me Like That? I'm putting it in Why Are You Looking At Me Like That? Just because of how happy he looks. I'm picturing horrible things right now, you know? I'm picturing it being like, oh, so you heard about my crimes. All the murdering I've done, huh? Oh, you can't stop me. Like, I'm picturing that. I'm picturing he has a zipper in his back. He's not a real koala. I'm thinking about like Zipper from Animal Crossing. You know what I mean? Like, I don't trust him. That smile hides secrets, if you know what I mean. It's a moose. It's going straight into why you're looking at me like that. I went on a class trip. Well, it wasn't a class trip. It was with a group that I was in called Global Kids when I was in sophomore year of high school. And we went to like this campground. We went to like stay in a cabin. And I woke up one morning to a moose staring at me through the window. So I don't know what that moose was thinking, but it was making direct eye contact with me. I guess it watched me while I was asleep, and I didn't like it. So all a moose, mooses? So a moose is going directly into why you're looking at me like that, no matter what. Plus, look at that mouth. He's like, ooh, girl, what you, oh shit. Next up, we have a mouse. I'm putting it right in that he dropped the ball because he's cute, but he looks so plain compared to some of these other guys. Next up, we have an octopus. I love that he's a little sailor. He's not Peek. He's a silly little guy because he thinks he belongs on a boat. That's where my logic goes. He's like, he's wearing a silly little hat. Guy, you belong in the water. Stop it, you. Like, that's where my mindset is, okay? Next up, we have an owl. The owl, part of me wants to put him in Peek because A, I like owls, and B, I had a stuffed owl when I was younger that was kind of that shape, honestly, and like hand size that you would like squeeze him and he squeaked, and I used to love him. And also he kind of reminds me of one of my favorite Pokemon, Rowlet, because he's a good little coconut owl. So it would either be that or why are you staring at me like that, because he's looking at me like he just saw something traumatic. But I'm putting him in Peek. We need another Peek. This fish, he belongs in why are you looking at me like that. I don't trust that side eye he's giving me. I don't trust it. He's like, I know something you don't, as he like swims past me. So no, I don't trust it. He belongs there, or maybe even whose sin is this? I will debate that as I continue. But for now, on to the next one. We're gonna do, oh, he's a mole. He's adorable. Peek. I love his little face. And I love that his hand's just like resting on his little tummy. He's a good boy. Ostrich, whose sin is this? That's not cute. I don't like it. Come at me in the comments. I'm sorry. I just don't like the ostrich. I mean, I like ostriches. I mean, they're evil, don't get me wrong, but I think they're cute in real life. That one's not cute. Next up, we have a pig. I'm going to put it in. I'll put him in silly little fellow for now. I might drop him down till like they drop the ball on him. I don't know. I like how big his nose is. Next up, I don't know if this is a polar bear or a little white dog. Either way, he's perfect the way he is. He's cute, okay? And his little tongue sticking out. Don't judge me. I like what I like, okay? He's adorable. Next up, we have another duck. This one's also going in silly little fellas. I'm gonna put him right next to his friend, other duck, because I can. I could make the fish kiss. Next up, we have, oh, buddy. What? No, not who sin is. I mean, yes, kind of, because who made you so sad? But also, why are you looking at me like this? You look like you're looking at me like you just got bad news from my doctor. You're like, oh, how am I gonna break it to him? why are you looking at me like that, buddy? This is the first one I'm like, I don't like how you're looking at me. This one's like, yeah, I don't like how you're looking at me, but it's making me feel bad for you. Next up we have, I think, a monkey? You had potential. Raccoon, I'm gonna put him in Furry's wet dream. I assume there might be a lot of like furry art of Rocket Raccoon. Someone let me know, am I right? Am I right? Next up we have a rooster, and why you're looking at me like that. Just straight away, I don't even need to. Like, he's giving me emo, curly, like, he's giving me like Lars's hair. If Lars was more emo from Steven Universe, you know who I'm talking about? And he's giving me the, where are you? Tonight will be the night that I fall for you. I don't know why he's looking at me like that. I don't know who thought, give him emo, like fringe. I don't know who thought of that, but whatever. Next up, we have a rhino. And Rhino's going straight into silly little guy. I love how far apart his eyes are. Like, if you think about it, like, he's angled like this, so you see the horns like this. So his eyes are like that. I want to see him, like, straight on, where his eyes are just, like, out the screen. Next up, we have a red fox. And Red Fox, I'm gonna go with Furry's Wet Dream. Just feels right, you know? I don't know how else to explain it, but it feels right. Next up we have giraffes, one of my personal favorite animals, but this one's going to why are you looking at me like that? He looks like he's done with life, and I just said something that he's like, Like he's giving me that look like, yeah, sure, whatever. Next up we have a crab. And the crab, I like him because he's like, holding his little claws together like, hey. So I'm gonna put him a silly little fella because he's like, little old me, you know, like he's being very polite, you know, just has his hands folded. He's being a good crab boy, okay? This, I don't know what this is. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it's supposed to be. I'm putting it in Whose Sin Is This because it unnerves me for some reason. Just the way that it stares at me. And I can't even put it in Why Are You Looking at Me Like That because there's just something about it that unnerves me. So it's going in Whose Sin Is This? Like, I feel like as a child, if I was eating happily on my little Zoop House plate and I ate my food and I cleared up the face, the second I ate the last bit to fully uncover his face, I'm like, ah! You know what I mean? Like, why are you staring at me like that? I don't trust it. Next up we have a seagull? A white falcon? Putting you in, they dropped the ball because I can't even tell what you are. I know you're a type of bird, I know that, but that's about it. A bluefish. I don't like how you're staring at me, sir. You, like your friend over here, I'm putting you next to him, are giving me that side like, like, you know something I don't. Again, I feel like you two were talking shit about me right before I walked in the room, and now you're both like, like because you know something that I didn't want people to know or something. I don't know. That's the energy you're giving me. Twiddle's peak. I just like him, okay? I feel like they chose wisely with the shapes that they had. Whereas some of the other guys, I'm like, you made questionable choices. A blue jay, meh. I don't necessarily think they could have done better, so I'm not gonna say they dropped the ball, because I know what it is. It's not giving me any kind of look, and it's not completely horrible. I'm gonna put it in Furry's Wet Dream, because I feel like there has to be a female blue jay furry. Wait, I know lizard and like reptile furries are called scalies. Is there a name for the bird furries? Are they like featheries or something? Yes, no, maybe? Someone tell me in the comments below. No, I love a good snail. I find snails to be so cute. However, this one is not cute. So it's going into, it's either Whose Sin Is This or they dropped the ball. You know, I'm putting it in Whose Sin Is This because they did snails poorly. They did them real dirty, okay? Like their little antenna are supposed to be the eyes. Like this, they made him look like a little green alien with like the antenna and stuff. Like maybe it would have been better if they put the eyes on top, and maybe if they like made the rest of the plate look like a leaf that he's sitting on or something like that, maybe then it could have been cute. But as it stands right now, he's not cute. And that makes me sad because I do love a good snail. A little seal. He's A tier. One of my favorite videos online is of the baby seal getting introduced to the water for the first time because he reminds me of my dog so much. Little white fur and the big black eyes. He was so cute. So he's definitely peak for me. A snow leopard. I feel like that would go in Furry's Wet Dream next to the other leopard. Or Cheeto, whatever it is. Now, because I have an owl in peak already, I'm gonna put this one in Why Are You Looking at Me Like That? Like I said before, it's giving me like the only stare down. And also because it's a white owl, and it's like completely white, his little like tuft down here makes him look like he has a little scrunchy like mouth. And he's giving me like a weird smile, like, like an old man with a mustache. So I like him, but he's giving me a weird look, you know what I mean? Ladybug, feel like they could have done better with it. So I'm gonna say they dropped the ball. I never really cared for the ladybug. A peacock, simply because my friend used to say that I had peacock colored hair when I would dye my hair blue. And the fact that this peacock is ugly, that's just my opinion. It's going in Whose Sin Is This? Panda, I love pandas, but I don't know if he's worthy of peak. You know what? Because of the shape of the head and everything in the ears, perfectly like panda shaped ears, peak. I'm gonna give it to him. This skunk is horrible. It looks like his head's getting split open down the middle. Because look how far apart those eyes are. He's going straight into Whose Sin Is This? Like, yeah, it worked for the rhino because the rhino looked cuter, but because of that white split, it just looks like there's a gap there. You know what I mean? So he's going down here because he's just not cute. The ram! The ram, I don't know what's going on with its horn right now. I'm gonna put it in Furry's Wet Dream because ram. It's a double entendre, you know, think about it. RAM. You need RAM for a computer, and what do you like to do? You know what I'm talking about. This one, is it supposed to be a bear? I feel like they dropped the ball on that because, again, a bunch of them, they have a lot more detail on. This one is so vague. It's like, I think I'm a bear. Maybe? Who knows? Tiger, feel like they could have done better. I'm gonna put it with Furry's Wet Dream though because, you know, furries. Toucan, I'm gonna put Toucan in... I don't care for him. Whose sin is this? You know what? I feel like they could have done a lot better with him and made him possibly cuter. If not, they could have just not made a toucan. Triceratops. Peak. I love a good Triceratops. It's one of my favorite dinosaurs, and I feel like they used the shape for the plate well with this one. So I'll say Peak for him. Oh, he's a pudgy Newt Newt. It looks like he stole some of my food from my plate, which I find to be silly, so he's going to silly little fellas. I'll put him next to the other Newt Newt over here. This bunny, remember how I mentioned Zipper earlier from Animal Crossing? Whose sin is this? That is not a cute bunny, okay? The walrus is going straight into, why are you looking at me like that? There's just something unnerving about the way he's looking at me. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's a little cute, but also, why are you staring at me like that? With your mouth just slightly. You know what I mean? Another bunny. This one's a little better, but it's still going into whose sin is this because, frankly, I don't trust you now because you were so close together with your other friend. Oh, it's another duck. Or maybe it's a goose. Either way, it's going with its duck friends. This sheep, I'm putting it in, why are you looking at me like that? Because there's just something about its eyes. I know it's the same design as the black sheep, but the black sheep, I trust a little more than that sheep. That sheep just giving me a weird look, you know what I mean? Next up, we have an elephant. Now, I love elephants, okay? But I also feel like they could have done better with the elephant. So I'm gonna put him in, you had potential, but they dropped the ball. This zebra belongs right here in Whose Sin Is This because that is horrible. I don't know who was like, this is a good idea. Let's make the zebra and make him look like this because that's not cute, okay? He looks like, what if Darth Maul and one of the members from KISS had a baby? Like, it's not cute. And last up for the tier list, we have a Bumblebee. Bumblebee is also iconic for Zoo Pals, so I'm putting it straight up here in the Peak tier. Now, do I want to change anybody? I'm keeping Peak tier the way it is. I'm moving the pelican down to they dropped the ball on you. Perfect! Now, I think the tier list came out pretty good. I think I'm pretty happy with where everybody lays on the list. If you disagree, let me know in the comments below who you thought should have been where. But for me, this seems pretty good. But yes, like I said, if you disagree with me or you agree with me at all, or, you know, or you think I forgot a Zoo Pals plate, let me know in the comments below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video because I really enjoyed making it. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and bing bong the ding dong down below to be alerted to when I make a new video. And until next time, maybe go check out some of my other stuff. I have some more randomness, some fever dreams, some Florida men, some story times, and some let's plays. I have a little something for everybody. And while you're at it, maybe go share one of your favorite videos of mine with your friends. We can always use more friends on the channel. Until next time, bye! Oink, oink, Zoo Pals. Ribbit, ribbit, Zoo Pals. The perpetual existence of humans is Zoo Pals. Zoo Pals make eating fun. Zoo Pals!